and let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Back again, back like we never left, back for the first time, back to back, all that good shit. You know what I'm saying? This is episode 23 of Food, Fitness, and Fun with Dre.
Yo.
And JD. That's me. So,
all right.
Jordan number. You know what I'm saying? 23. That's what we on now.
Yeah.
I wish we ain't putting up Jordan numbers yet. But we've gotten to the Jordan number. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And for the young Cubs out there listening, we've gotten to the LeBron number. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, that's right.
The LeBron number. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Anywho, so you want to start with the usual sponsored by, or you want to start with the follow-up of the Devonta Adams situation?
Let's do the sponsored by.
Keep the format?
And then we can go right. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. So
today's sponsored by segment is sponsored by me and our good friends over at Peter Petter Piper. Nah, I'm just kidding. So when I was doing the year of veganism that I tried out, I was home a lot, which made it easy to work with. And I found a lot of different recipes on the PETA website. And one of the ones I found and have thoroughly enjoyed for years now is cauliflower meatballs. Every time I make them, people like them. They're really flavorful and the texture is cool, but it is time consuming. So if you want to make these bad boys, you got to carve out some time in your schedule. This is not going to be a 20-minute one. It's not so much prep as it is time in between because there's a lot of steps. So the prep is really short. You cut up the head of cauliflower, you cut up an onion. That's pretty much your prep. Besides that, you just need it's a cup of, I could put the ingredients up, but you're going to get a cup of flour. I use brown flour. And you're going to need some butter, usually about a tablespoon of butter. It depends what kind of butter you use. So yeah, when I did it, and I still kind of practice this today, I was vegan at the time. I was practicing veganism at the time. So I used Country Crock. The original Country Crock is actually not butter. It doesn't have any animal products in it. So yeah, it's like margarine, vegetable oil type stuff. So that's
it's a crock.
It's a crock. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was using. And I still use it because I like Smart Balance and the alternatives, but they're a little expensive and Country Crock is cheaper. You chop up an onion, cubes, and you chop up the head of cauliflower. You're going to steam the cauliflower. That takes about 20 minutes or so. If you fly, you could do it in less. I'm not that fly in the kitchen. I don't want to burn stuff. So it takes me a little longer. Then you're going to remove the cauliflower, add it with the onions, salt, pepper, and then you mix that up, and then you add the flour, and you have to let it sit in the flour. Oh, and the butter. Sorry. You want to mix it up. So it's cauliflower, onion, salt, pepper, butter. Mix that up. Then you throw in the flour. And once you got the flour in there, then you let the flour sit in there for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right. This is when I usually start prepping the next set of things, which is the breadcrumbs to, help mold the meatballs. And you might want to start heating up your oil in the skillet. So after that, that's it. You put your meatballs together, throw them in the pan, and that's it. And you have them however you want, as a sub, with some pasta, whatever you like. I usually do it with pasta. My daughter loves it. Every time I've made it, different friends have had it and enjoyed it. Even when you first hear about it, like cauliflower fake meatballs, man, get that shit out of here. But I haven't had many issues. People usually like it. And sometimes I add either minced garlic for extra flavor, or I'll add extra seasoning into the breadcrumbs because not all breadcrumbs come flavorful enough.
How long you got to keep it in a skillet?
It cooks pretty quick. It depends. Again, you got that high fire or low fire. You know what I'm saying? If you got high fire, and you really watching them sitting there, maybe 5-10 minutes. They're quick. You know what I'm saying? It's remember, it's already pre-cooked. You already steamed the cauliflower. You're really just trying to get a nice crisp texture, a nice
Gotcha.
brown texture on it. So that's it. You just want to give it that nice seared caramelized look. And I let it cook a little extra because sometimes, since I'm using the margarine or whatever instead of the fatty butter, the meatballs tend to fall apart a little quicker because of all the liquid. So the way to combat this is either add more flour, so maybe a cup and a quarter or a cup and a half, or to use less of the margarine, or to slowly cook them longer, etc. So I've got pictures. I'll put pictures up. The recipe, I pretty much said it, but if y'all want, I could throw that up there too. And yeah, I usually do it with pasta. And if you have a big head of cauliflower, you can make, anywhere to like 12 or 15 meatballs. It also depends how big you make them. Some people like itty bitty meatballs, some people like big ass meatballs. So it depends. I tend to mix it up depending on who's around. You know what I mean? Like if it's me and you, we say we want to eat big. Instead of 12 medium-sized ones, I might make like 5 big-ass meatballs, and then we split them or something. You know what I'm saying? So try to read the room, see who I'm feeding. So yeah, and then I usually have it with veggie pasta, maybe a salad. It depends. I mean, you're already getting veggies anyway, so I like to OD on the veggies. So I'll do like the vegetable pasta, maybe a salad, and veg out. So that's it, folks.
Right.
That's sponsored by. Now, I went back and looked up the stuff we spoke about the wide receiver from the Packers. His name is Devonta Adams. He's one of their main wide receivers, one of their main threats, one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite targets. And what I was saying last week holds true. He did come down with C19. And so it came out. I did a couple searches. A couple websites were saying they weren't sure if he was vaccinated or not. Apparently, about 6 or 7 hours after the story broke about him having COVID, he came out and publicly said he is vaccinated. So this is interesting because of what we spoke about last week on the pod, where we haven't really seen a lot of people who are vaccinated going through these different protocols. So the protocol, once again, for him, for anyone who is asymptomatic in the NFL, is that they must come back with 2 negative tests in 24 hours of each other. So, for example, I get a test today. It says negative. I have to go back and get another test, and that one has to say negative. So you need to be even asymptomatic. You must come back with 2 negative tests back-to-back 24 hours. I think this is really interesting. I have yet to see anything like this, but I will be honest, I have not been following sports a lot the last couple years. And I know there's been a lot of changes because of the virus and the bubbles and this and that. So maybe this is something that is happening largely. I don't know. Feel free to tell us in the comments if you have more information. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I do think this is very interesting because asymptomatic means he has no symptoms. They've created what's called a COVID/injury reserve list. Injury reserve usually means I'm hurt, I can't play. Apparently, people who have contracted COVID are also put on this list now. So it seems that he's following the protocol. I mean, by now, he might be back on the field. I don't know. I didn't follow up for that part. I just was looking into what we discussed and what our question was. But he came out publicly. Devonta Adams is vaccinated, but still had to follow this protocol. I think it's super interesting. I'm curious your thoughts, brother.
Man, I'm confused about all of it. You know what I'm saying? I can't make heads or tails of it because none of it makes sense to me. The whole thing just seems like, and I think I was saying that before, it's like, all right, so he's vaccinated, but he has the virus. It seems like they're creating these protocols just like out of the sky somewhere. And now what do you do with cats? It's like, okay, we know that you can contract the virus even if you're vaccinated. Okay. And now these are these protocols. However, there are some cats who don't have the virus, but also aren't vaccinated. You're basically telling them you on some whole other thing, or you're gonna lose your job or something like that.
Mm.
So to me, none of this is really making sense. And yeah, we just have to watch, stand by, and see what's really going to happen. Because I think as time goes on, as we see cases are going down, unless there's some other wild variant just waiting to pop its head out. He's just like, hey, it's my turn.
Right.
The beta variant,
Alligator Loki.
but right, just like word, there's another variant. Why not? We just have to wait and see because, the more that this thing kind of circles around, the more we'll realize that, okay, well, it's going to be here. And as I always said, I believe the trick is that we're all trying to get to a place where people are asymptomatic. Mm-hmm. That whether you test for the virus or don't test for it, if you don't have symptoms, it's like, okay, yeah, we all have it. So let's move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. I guess the idea is better safe than sorry, because if you're asymptomatic, that doesn't mean the rest of your team will be. For me, this is all a touchy subject. I'm not going to input my personal opinion. We've already done plenty of that, in my opinion. We've spoken about the virus and the protocols at large, or the mandates at large. I just think this is really interesting. I guess the theory is better safe than sorry, because, yeah, if you're asymptomatic and you're in the huddle and sweating all over everyone, those droplets can then infect other people. But I don't know. I just think it's interesting. What I'm curious about, and I didn't have time to look this part up, I'll be honest. But what I'm curious about is those two tests back to back, are they PCR tests or are they rapid tests? Because for me, that makes a big difference. But maybe to the NFL, it doesn't. I don't know. But that's what I'm curious about at this point.
If I had to guess, I'd say it doesn't. Because, listen, like any other industry we're talking about entertainment. And this is the talent, right? And they need their talent on the field to produce entertainment. So they're going to put up there whatever they need to put up there, rapid, PCR, whatever, so that they can get a result to put to the people and be like, see, everything's good, everything's great. All right, out of sight, out of mind. Because my thing is, you're only doing that it's like this, all these tests and stuff. It's like, who's coming up with this? 24 hours, 48 hours, 78 hours. Nobody really knows, and that's the thing. It's like you could test somebody and they could have a negative test, but then 24 hours they could have it. Who knows? So this thing is circulating, whether we want to admit it or not. But I feel like these are the things that are making people feel better. It's more of an emotional thing than it is science, and as time goes on, we'll start to learn more about it. And, 5 years from now, we'd be like, yeah, we was doing a lot of stupid shit. We was just doing whatever.
Sure, because this is all still very new.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
Cool. So, let's talk about one of my favorite things, cardio. So, I guess we could do this in threefold. Yeah, that's right. Cardio, baby. You know what I'm saying? Right. Give him a run. Give him a run. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we could do this in sections. So, being that we're speaking about a lot of fitness stuff, I wanted to do a little bit about cardio. We speak about it, but I wanted to speak about it on a different scale. You're a fan of it. I'm a fan of it, but some people are not, right? So the first question is cardio important?
I want to say yes. Mm-hmm. I feel cardio is incredibly important. Remember, cardio is short for what? Cardiovascular system, right? And so what we're saying is these are exercises for your cardiovascular system. And more specifically, your heart. Your heart is a muscle. So like any other muscle, you can't neglect it.
Right.
It's no different than saying, is legs important? You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to do all the muscles if you're training, or you should be doing all the muscles.
Right.
So your cardiovascular system is probably one of the most important because it is your heart, how strong your heart is. And you have to sort of put it through some sort of system for it to get stronger.
That
Like any
training.
other muscle. Yeah, like any other muscle, if you don't train it, it gets weaker. You know what I'm saying? And so before you know it, as time goes on, you have people, oh, I got a weak heart, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, other people are just like doing whatever. So cardio is incredibly important, you know. Now, we all may not have the same cardiovascular goals. You know what I'm saying? There's so many different ways that you can, do cardio. You
Right.
could do like the most lightest, just chilling, walking, which is great. Or you can, run marathons if that's what you're into. Or you could, run sprints if that's what you're into.
Right.
But some form of cardio, I believe, is important and needs to be part of any fitness program.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that it's important, to work on all your muscles. The same way you wouldn't just hit chest every day or
Right.
only focus on chest. You know what I'm saying? Even though some cats do.
Mm-hmm.
We should always aim for balance. And I think that working on your heart muscles and the way that blood is flowing is very important, especially in America, where we eat all the fast food and all the ice cream and all the things that add fat and cholesterol and hurt our heart and body. They block blood flow. I'm trying to be too scientific, but I think that you need to do things to balance that, right? Like, as much as I talk about ice cream, I also end a lot of these podcasts by saying, all right, I'm going to go jog now. And if you have me on social media, I'm constantly posting, here are my elliptical stats. Before work, went to go see wifey. It's not a woman, it's the elliptical. So, I'm far from perfect, but I'm just saying, I think that we have to work on all the muscle groups. You know what I'm saying? Not to sound like a broken record, but when I went to physical therapy, that's one of the things that they stressed. They said, okay, you have a knee issue. Okay, great. There's a bunch of muscles surrounding the knee. We want to work on all of those muscles. So we're going to try to attack different parts with different exercises. So I think that that's important. And I think that, yes, you should cultivate your workout to help you get to your fitness goals, right? If you have 20% body fat and you're not worried about body fat, you're only trying to gain muscle, then yeah, I'm not saying you're going to go run marathons, right? But you don't want to neglect your heart either. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you do 15 minutes a day of jump rope. I don't know. But you don't want to neglect these muscle groups. What's the next one we got?
Yeah. Let me just say something else to that. We talk about a bunch of things, and right now, everyone's really concerned about C-19. But let us not forget the number one reason why people die in America.
Oh, yeah.
And that is still heart disease. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said that.
It's still number one.
Yep.
So, not doing things for the heart is just foolish. To have a program set up where you don't really do cardio. That's a great way to just have your heart to be weak, and you can get like some kind of heart attack or a stroke or something like that, because you want to make sure that heart is working, that blood is going through all the veins of your body, in your mind, in your brain, all over the body, that there's blood being put there everywhere that your body needs it.
That's right.
But you can do that is with cardio. So yeah, we talk about this and this virus and blah blah blah, but number one, heart disease is still number one.
That's right.
As far as I know. So I know it's not a lot of people talking about that, but we need to recognize that this is also a pandemic, if you will.
Talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about it. So you basically answered the next question, which was, should everyone be doing cardio? And it seems like your answer is yes.
Oh, definitely yes. Yeah, definitely. I don't care what program you get set up, you know, whatever your goals are, you know. So it's like a lot of guys will have strength training goals, right? They want to get big, they want big muscles, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And so they'll neglect cardio. A lot of people feel like, well, cardio is going to take away from their strength goals, because it's you know, it's hard to balance both.
Yep.
Right. And so
It
a lot
is.
of people feel like, man, the cardio is going to, you know, destroy what I'm trying to work on in terms of getting big. But even the top bodybuilders do some form of cardio. They may not run, they may not jog, you know, they might get on a stepper. They might just go for walks. They'll do very low intensity cardio sessions.
Right.
Because you still need to work on all those things I just mentioned.
Absolutely.
So you never want to have a program that you neglect cardio. I mean, it's even cool to sometimes people like will do a day, skip a day, something like that. You know, whatever days you're off, those will be your cardio days. But you know, you work that in somewhere.
Yeah, I agree. And again, to reiterate, I think in this country where so many of us are obese, you know, and we are creating these through diet, all of these issues for our body, blockages for our blood flow. I think it is super important that we're all doing some form of cardio. And again, like you said, maybe that's just taking long walks. Maybe every day you say, hey, you know what? I'm going to take this hour stroll, listen to my favorite podcast. You know what I'm saying? Had to hit him with the, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Old school
the
wink.
wink.
You know what I'm saying? With the mouth open and all.
Right.
But no, seriously, you know, in all serious, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what's funny? I bet cats listen and it's like, what the fuck are they talking about? I think about that sometimes when I listen back to the pod, because there's moments when you hear us laughing or saying like a piece of something. It's like, what the fuck? What is going on over there?
Yeah.
That's why I like to watch it back.
It's not complete.
What'd you say?
I said it's not complete without the video.
Yeah,
sometimes.
You gotta have the video audio. But some people don't like that. It's because some people do it when they're multitasking. Like some people, like I'm at work, I just want to have some background noise. They throw it on, so they're not worried about the visual. The visual is the work they're doing. But anyway, back to the point. If you're gonna take hour-long walks, you know that's cardio. You could do all type of different forms of cardio. But I think, especially in this society, we should be all doing some form of cardio. And on the flip side, just because you're not overweight or you are underweight, that doesn't mean that your muscles don't still need things. You know what I'm saying? The same way your body needs nourishment, your body needs training and pushing. And that's how you're going to get stronger, bolder, better, faster, stronger. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah.
So now you mentioned something I kind of want to discuss, which is you said some cats feel like if they're trying to hit certain strength training goals, they could skip cardio. Now, I see a lot of cats who feel that way, but I also am curious about the flip side of that, right? So let's say I do a ton of cardio. Does that mean I could skip leg day?
No.
All right.
I used to think that. Yeah, I used to think that back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes sense, you know, in your mind because you're thinking, well, hey, I just did legs because I just did all this cardio. So, you know, can I skip legs? Well, let's look at this for a second. If you're talking about just, you know, having strong legs, like if you say to yourself, I want my legs to be really strong, that's going to take resistance training. Right. You need to put your legs through resistance. Walking or any form of cardio really isn't really pushing all your muscles in your legs. So you think about if you look at your body in general,
Right.
one of the biggest muscles you have are your leg muscles. We're talking about your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes. These are huge, huge muscles.
Right.
So, and it's designed that way because, when human beings, before we had technology, we were nomadic, right? We have to walk from place to place to place to place.
Right.
So you need big muscles to do that. But that's not going to get your leg muscles as strong as possible, right? You're just going to you'll be in shape, if you just want, okay, yeah, like a slim sort of like profile. But in terms of a certain look or strong legs, they're not going to be as strong if you add some resistance to it, So put it like this, and see if I'm right. So it's like let's say you take 2 weeks and you say, okay, I'm just going to just do cardio, right? That's all I'm going to do. Okay, fine. All right, let's see how it is. Now, if that's true, that doing cardio means you don't have to do legs. That means when you go to the gym and actually do legs, you should be able to kill it with legs. Well, I challenge you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Get on, do a leg press, do some squats.
Right.
And let's see how much you could do, because you're going to go in there. You're going to be like, oh my God, this is heavy. Why? You're utilizing your full muscles, because now you got the full range going, rather than just using the smaller ones that help you walk. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or run or whatever. Even riding a bike, right? I still ride my bike. I've been riding bikes for years. That ain't got nothing to do with doing squats or leg press or something like that,
right,
where you have to use your entire leg muscles, both the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes, everything acting as one to bring you up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's completely different. So I'd say either way, if you're doing cardio, that does. I mean, so let me just be really specific. So I wouldn't say on your leg days do cardio, because that might just be a lot.
Okay.
So you might want to skip a day. You know what I'm saying? So if let's say you're doing cardio, I wouldn't say do cardio and then finish up with legs. You're gonna burn your body out. But if you do cardio one day and then do legs the next day, I think that's absolutely fine. No matter what, your body does need to recover. So I don't want to pretend like you have endless amounts of energy.
Right.
That's just not true.
Right.
But that's why I said do 2 weeks of cardio if you wanted to challenge yourself, and then the next 2 weeks do legs, and you're going to feel a very different sensation in your legs. It's
Agreed.
just not the same thing.
No.
Yeah.
And going back to what you said, what I said, and what physical therapy told me, it's about targeting different groups of muscles, right? As much as I like to jog, as much as I love being on that elliptical, you're targeting different groups of muscles, right? So as you're jogging, you're using a very specific set of muscles. As you're on the elliptical, you're using a very specific set of muscles. But when you're pushing that weight up off of you, you're engaging different muscles. And we want to engage as many muscles as possible. That's how you're going to hit all those sweet spots. That's how you're going to get the real strength you're looking for. And again, I think that you should cultivate these things according to your goals. But I think that it's important that you don't skip leg day. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference between building endurance and building strength, right? And running is endurance. Elliptical is endurance. But if you want, like you said, strong legs, you want to start giving it that strength training as well. And like you said, balance is difficult. So you have to figure out how to work it into your schedule. Like you said, one strategy is do strength training, but skip the cardio. Or do the cardio, but skip the strength training for legs. And that's a good strategy, I remember we used to wild out and go straight from the leg machines right on the elliptical. Like, oh, that's crazy. My legs are burning. Are you ready to hit the elliptical? Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
What you mean your legs hurt?
Yeah,
Nope. The elliptical's gonna make them feel better. Come on, don't worry.
Listen, what you're talking about is like more advanced. I'm not saying you can't do it, but this show is really for like beginners, intermediate. So that's why I wouldn't tell people to go out and do that.
Right.
Now, when you get advanced, you've been doing it for a long time.
Right.
Rock out. Yeah, you're right. That there's been times where, I would absolutely do legs and be like, that was a great workout.
Right.
Let's go get this cardio on. Right. Or there's times where I'm like, all right, I'm going to ride my bike to the gym.
Right.
While out for an hour and then ride my bike on home.
Right.
The
guillotine.
Right. I'm not going to tell everybody to do that. Like, no. That's an advanced sort of thing. So everybody's not there yet. Don't do that. And a lot of times when people want like fast results, they start doing everything. And then that's a great way to injure yourself. So we don't want that.
Right.
So take it light. You know what I'm saying? Give your body, because recovery is super important.
Yep.
So give your body a chance. What someone that's more advanced body can do is not what your body can. Everybody's the same. But think about it like this in terms of how functional training is, or how important it is. Mm-hmm. The very fact of you just like getting up out of your chair, getting off the sofa.
Yep.
You're not using the same muscles you use when you get up and walk to wherever you need to walk to, right? Getting off the chair requires a lot more muscle activation to just actually get up than it is to just walk into the other room. So if you don't exercise those muscles, and you'll start to see it, especially the older you get, it might get harder and harder for you to just get off the sofa. Why do certain people, when they get super big, right, your 600-pound life shit, can't get out of the bed?
Right.
They can't get out of the bed because you're basically asking them to do squats with 600 pounds every day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Who could do that? That's just way too much. So if you don't move and you don't work those muscles and have them get stronger, you'll start to see, in terms of your everyday life, things get harder and harder.
Yep.
That's why some people, when they're in like 70s and their 80s, are they need help. They might need, some sort of, walker or cane or something, where some cats are just like, yo, this is what's next? I'm about to do this mountain bike. I see this cat doing this like 70 something, doing like riding his bike, through the mountains and stuff. Like, wow, how does that happen? Strength training. Strength training gets you there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And consistency.
So, and consistency. But yeah, you don't not do a particular muscle. You know what I'm saying? Agreed. Everything gets done.
That's the goal. The goal is to be balanced and work on tang. That's right.
You know what I mean? That equilibrium.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Every time we come back from the nethers, it reminds me why we do what we do.
It does?
It does. Son, stop playing. I'm going to get another topic. You playing, son. Son, don't play with me. Don't do that. Don't do that! All right, let me see what else I got. All right, let's hit one of my favorites. Fuck it. Let's talk about shut-eye. Sleeping, counting sheep, all those good things.
Yeah.
How much do you need to sleep for your body to recover from these workouts? Is 5 hours enough? Is 8 hours enough? Or do you need to do like some of the bodybuilders who sleep 12 to 14 hours before competitions? Take it away, Dre.
Man, it's the most underrated thing when it comes to all this stuff that we're talking about. Cardio, strength training, it's the most underrated. Mm-hmm. It's like, when I think about it, it's like, well, people take all kinds of like crazy supplements. We joke on here all the time, you know, whether people are taking drugs,
Right.
steroids, or fat burners or whatever. But ain't nothing more better than quality sleep. You know what I'm saying? Quality sleep beats all that stuff. It beats your steroids, it beats your fat burners, it beats all that, because when you're sleeping, your body goes into straight repair mode. While you're asleep, your body is just like, oh man, we put this there, we take this there, I'm gonna need these nutrients here. In fact, a lot of people don't know, when we talk about losing fat, it's like, oh man, you lost weight. When does that happen? Mostly when you're sleeping. Yeah. You mostly lose most of your fat when you're sleeping.
That's
and
right.
That happens because your body is taking what it needs from those fat cells and putting it different places, shrinking the fat cells. Most of that happens while you sleep.
That's right.
Not when you get out of the gym, not when you just finished your cardio session, but while you're sleeping. So, sleeping, super underrated. So, how much do you need? As much as you can get. As much as you can get. If you can get 12 hours on some like kid shit, you know, remember you was little? You sleep all like, yo, your mom be like, yo, go to bed at 8. You be like, what kind of crazy shit is that? But then you go and you go right to sleep, you be like, yo, I'm not even tired. And then 8:05, you knock the fuck out, right? And then wake up at 8, you be like, what the hell? You feeling great.
Feel great.
Oh, I mean,
You're like, good morning. How y'all doing? Y'all ready? What we doing? PlayStation? Y'all play PlayStation? Y'all play PlayStation? PlayStation? Y'all play the PlayStation?
I'm going to get into all kind of riffraff
You know
today. I got energy.
Just bugging.
Right. That's just beautiful. Or, I know if it happened to me, I don't know if it's ever happened to you. Like, there's been times, very rarely, if I get like sick, like if I'm not feeling well, you know, maybe I take some sort of like meds or something like that, have some dinner, and take my ass to sleep. I sleep mad long. It's like my body is like, thank you. That's all I needed you to do. I'll take it from here.
Right.
And just get into repair mode. Right. I'm like, man, I slept for like 9 hours. It was nuts. You know? So that's what sleeping does. It's your body's repair factory. It's like repair mode, boom, while you sleep. So if you can get 12, man, great. But the truth is, it's really hard for adults to get that, especially when you have the kind of schedules that most Americans have.
Right.
You know, cats have like 2 jobs or, you know, 3 jobs sometimes.
Yep.
We're all stressed out. We have a lot on our mind. Yep. So I'd say at least quality 5, you know, and that's not that great, but at least that.
Right.
But man, if you can get a solid 8, man, you gold. You golden if you can get a solid 8.
Stay golden.
I know it's hard for me to, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to get a solid 8. I ain't gonna front. But yesterday, you know, I did strength training, and then went about my day. Then at the end of the day, I did my cardio. I came home, boy. I slept like a 2-year-old baby boy. Slept so good. You know, it's like that's the original medicine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd say get as much as you can. You know what I mean?
That is something I have always struggled with. I remember at one time when you was training me, you was like, all right, son, listen. You can do whatever the fuck you want in life. But if you don't sleep this many hours, if you can't get Cinco, you can't work out. And that is the rule I still follow today. I'm like, oh, I got 4 and 4.5. Shucks, can't work out. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important. I try to sleep 6 hours a day. It's not the 8, the rule of 8. I have always struggled with sleeping for long times. Unless I've been up, like if I'm up the whole weekend and I finally go to bed, son, I might sleep 24 hours, son. Don't play with me. I've done it. Son. I've stayed up all weekend. Shit. On some vampire, right? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? On some old vampire shit. Like I was up for 2.5 days with like a 20-minute nap only. On the train, almost missing my stop. You know how we do. 8th Ave. Oh man, I missed my shit. All right. You know what I'm saying? So 20-minute nap, and then I finally go to sleep. Coma. That's it, baby. I done went to sleep at like, I remember when I warned cats. I was like, yo, I've been up with my daughter all weekend, had to work, all type of shit. I just got home. I'm just letting you know now, I'm going to be out for a hot minute. You know what I'm saying? A hot minute. Sent that to the necessary folks. Put that shit on silent and just laid there. No alarm. And it was off the next day. And, you know, it's to start my real weekend, my non-work days. Son, I went to bed at like 9-10 p.m. Son, I woke up at like 6 p.m. the next day, mad confused. On some like, man, it's still dark, but I feel so well rested. How could it still be dark outside? Looked at the time. Oh, it's a new day. It's a new night. Damn. So my body was like, yo, you gonna keep playing or you gonna give us some time to repair? You feel what I'm saying? So you're right. I struggle with sleeping long periods on a regular basis, but something I have been working on is getting those 5-6 hours. I try very hard not to sleep under 5, especially if I know I've got a full day ahead and I want to get the workout in. Sometimes that is hard to accomplish, but I try my best to get them 6 hours because, like you said, we know through science, through other cats who've worked out, through trainers, the more sleep you get, the more your body has time, like you said, they're like, oh, I'm going to take this from over here. I'll put some of that over there. Oh, let me get 2 of these real quick. Put that over there. And that's when your body does it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're getting it in, you trying to be consistent, all of that is good, but not if you don't hit the lights. Boop. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah, let's kind of talk into that as a couple of tips.
Okay.
As you said, right? The lights. Number one, the darker the better. Like you want to be in a nice dark room. Right. And I mean by dark room, it's like fully dark, lights out. If you need a little night light or whatever, right, there's nothing wrong with that, but the darker the better.
Right.
2, the biggest light of all is that damn phone or laptop or iPad. That has been fucking up sleep for the past 10 years or so, or however long we've had these smartphones. I want to say a solid 10 or maybe more, 15, you know, where it's like, yo, these phones, me included, are messing us up. You know, what I now do, because I'm like everybody else, the phone is distracting. So I don't watch anything anymore when I go to sleep. I'll put on like a podcast. Either I'll listen to us or some other fitness cats, or it may not even be about fitness. I might listen to something else, but I'd rather listen to something that I could just hear and fall asleep from it than actually watch it, because that watching is stimulating your eyes and your brain is like, oh, I guess we up. Let me stay up, you know. But if you're just listening to something, it's like, once again, I know I use all these kid references. I work with kids a lot.
That's right.
But it's like, just like when you was a kid, right? Like you like, tell me a story, you know. Mom or dad read you that story and you fall out. That's kind of that's what I do, you know. So I listen to something as I'm getting tired and falling asleep. I'll just put something on, just kind of listen to it. It's in the background and it'll make me fall asleep. For me, what makes me fall asleep is the more technical something is, like a little bit above my head, the more I just get sleepy. It's just like boring. You know? So I'll be like, I wonder what the Federal Reserve is going to do about the interest rate and the inflation going on for the next 10 years. Let me hear something about the budget. Oh, word. Okay, so 0.25, the inflation, the economy, joblessness. Okay. Yeah, right to sleep. Thank you. Thank you, Federal Reserve. You always do it to me every time. You know? You guys are the best.
Thanks.
That, right. That or anything that's like, you know, I'm just going to Hey, do you want us to read the Bible to you?
Oh.
Yeah, that'll do it. For art thou, this thou, for out thou, he, she. Okay. Knock me right on out.
Thanks.
Right. Whatever.
Right.
But something that is like, I don't really need to pay attention to it. It's boring.
Right.
It's going to put me to sleep. So nice and dark. Don't look at anything. And then I'd say for my third one that I think is important, and you can say what yours is, trying to have the room at a nice, cool sort of temperature. If you're too hot, lying in bed, if it's too hot and you're not comfortable, that's gonna keep you up. Studies have shown, and you just look, like I always say, experiment for your own self. When you have your room a little cool, not cold, because I don't like cold either, but nice and cool, nice cool temperature, that helps sort of like put you to sleep. So a nice cool sort of environment, helps out, as well as it being quiet.
Quiet.
Right.
Quiet is important.
Unlike those dogs or whatever that I'm hearing in the background.
I don't know. Nobody wanna put a muzzle on it. So he's potting with
Right.
us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Toto
Right.
and the Potters. You know what I'm saying?
We're from motorcycles to dogs now. Who knows what's going to be outside your window.
You know what I'm saying? It's Jumanji out here. You know what I'm saying?
Next time we're doing the pod out in the streets.
You know what I'm
Whatever
saying?
come up, we're interviewing.
You know what I'm saying? Sir, let me ask you something. Sir, what are your goals what are your fitness goals?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Fido.
You know what I'm saying?
How important is cardio? Come on, tell him. That's what I thought.
I knew you'd say that. Something inside told me that's what you'd say.
Yeah. I read your mind.
You know
it was my job.
That's my
to
job.
know what you were thinking.
You know what I'm saying? All right, yeah, my tips are I put the phone on silent or do not disturb when I go to sleep. Because even though the phone may not be near me, hearing that
oh yeah,
especially when you get like back-to-back notifications for emails or social media, or that one friend who likes to text you sentence by sentence by sentence by sentence by sentence. Yeah. Now you laying there trying to sleep, you comfortable?
Oh no! Yeah, I throw that. I throw.
Yo, what the hell, man?
I'm about to throw this phone.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to throw it.
Right.
Only cost me $1,000. I'm about to break.
I'm about to break this $1,000 phone. You know what I'm saying?
You know?
So I have learned that is very helpful to me, because even if you're not waiting for any message, especially you start hearing all those back-to-back notifications, you're like, oh my God, is the world ending? What the fuck? Let me get up and see what's going on with this shit. So I have learned to take notes from my guy, Janelle. I throw my shit on either silent or do not disturb. You can even set a timer with do not disturb. So sometimes I'll put it until I wake up or until half hour from the time I wake up, something of that nature. That's my biggest tip for the phone and sleeping. The next thing is I am an overthinker. I'm constantly thinking about all this different stuff. What about the price of gas? Oh, inflation. Oh, that one chick I was trying to talk to. But what about my daughter? Did she do her homework? Damn, did I do enough cardio? Yo, did I send Dre that message back? Shut up! My shit just be going and going and going and going and going. Man, so
gotta turn that mind off.
Gotta turn your mind off. So I have learned to focus on breathing. I literally lay there, close my eyes, and mentally tell myself, breathe in, breathe out.
Yes.
It is a form of meditation, yes. So I know cats are probably going to get at me because I said I don't meditate. But this is a tool. And I know.
Everybody going to be like, oh, is he talking about meditation? Because I'm going to catch you another way. I'm going to catch you.
On episode blah, 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 you said you don't meditate.
That's like some real meditation right there.
The elliptical. You is a lion. Hold on. Backspace. You is a lion ass motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. Dear Santa, you's a bitch. Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. You's a bitch ass nigga. Oh yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah,
That's the one.
That's it.
You know what I'm
Perfect now.
saying? Mad boondocks out here. So
Right.
yeah, I focus on breathing. And it helps shut things out. Does that mean all 30 things running through your mind disappear? Absolutely not. But it is helpful to be able to shut those things out. So that's my second tip. I mean, that's really it for me. I don't need a lot. As far as noise, like, yeah, I have been in spots where, I sleep during the day a lot. So sometimes it is noisy as hell. In those situations, I'll put on some soft music. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
I'll put on like
Nice.
something really like some soft R&B. Not that like borderline pop R&B. I ain't trying to be pop locking when I'm trying to sleep. So I'll put something soft on. You know what I'm saying? Like a Sade, maybe even some jazz. I remember when I was a young lad, Mom Dukes used to put on CD 101.9. You know what I'm saying? Smooth jazz.
The Kenny G station.
Before the first song was over, I was gone. You know what I'm saying? This is nice. I just...
The Kenny G flute. No one can make it for 30 seconds with the Kenny G flute.
You know what I'm saying? You be out. Just gone. So, but I honestly, I normally don't play music. Or podcast or anything. I try my best to shut that all off because there's already a circus, a carnival going on in my mind. So I don't need, other things happening. But yeah, if I'm somewhere where it's loud or like I'm at somebody's crib and they've got a loud ass roommate or some shit, I'm like, all right, where is the music? Because I need to drown that out. Or, I mean, when I lived in Long Island, I used to have music on just for some kind of noise because, I'm from New York City and it'd be loud as hell. Gunshots put us to bed. You know what I'm saying? So when it was just literally just crickets, it was driving me nuts at one point. Like I was like, son, please put anything on and just put it low so I got a little bit of, white noise, some static, something. Right. Because literally it would be like 2 blocks away, you could hear somebody close a car door kind of quiet, like that eerie, like Jason is coming for you quiet. And I was like, nah, this Camp Crystal Lake quiet ain't going to do it for me. It's not going to work. It's not going to work.
It's quiet.
Too quiet.
Too quiet.
Right, exactly. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. Put something on. So, but now where I live is cool. I know there's motorcycles and dogs and bears and cats and all this other shit, but
you need that.
Yeah, I'm saying the Wizard of Oz and shit. Yeah. So I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing. You got to just experiment. You know what I'm saying? You got to feel like, okay, let me try this.
Right.
Like I tried the white noise at one time. A friend of mine was telling me you should try white noise. I was like, that didn't work. But I'm up for trying things. Sometimes what works is like the waterfall thing. Like that is soothing and I like it. But then I realized like I'm getting up and going to the bathroom. It's too much
I didn't say it. I was like, so you about to pee to bed because you want to go to sleep early. Okay.
Right, exactly. It's just like it's too refreshing. It's just like so I can let everything go. Just let it all go. Right here on the mattress. Sure. Sure, why not?
It's too
I'll just
refreshing.
Let it work.
Son,
I'm at a fall.
Son,
it's beautiful.
I had to leave on you.
You know what I'm saying? Wake up. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh no. But no
more the waterfall.
This is why TLC told me don't chase waterfalls.
Now I know because I pee on myself.
Rivers and the lakes that I'm used to.
Right. So don't do that. Right. So, you got to find whatever that thing is. Another thing that I saw some people use, I've used it once, but it's not really my thing. Mm-hmm. Some people use like the little blinders. They put like the little, because
it's face mask.
You don't have, the face mask, right? So it's like, because some people, they can't get it super dark. Maybe your bedroom is by a window. Or there's, some weird light. Maybe you sleep with someone who's just like, I need the light, whatever. So you might want to use like that face mask to like, boom, block things out.
I tried that, but I moved too much. Like I was
Yeah, I
like, all right,
tried it
cool, I'm gonna
too.
try it. I lay flat on my back, threw the joint on, and then I woke up with it like over here, and
Oh
I was
yeah.
sleeping
Oh
like
yeah.
this. It didn't work out for me.
Same thing with me. Yeah, I put it
Try it.
on, and when I wake up, it's on my toe. I'm like, how did that happen?
Son,
I don't know.
you was wilding, son.
I just start wrestling the motherfucker, in the middle of the night. Just get off me, son. Get off me.
You know what I'm saying?
People were like, just what? Let's not use that.
It was just on your toes. That's gangster.
You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck off me, yo.
That's mad funny.
We got issues. But
Facts.
yeah, you try different things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Another thing in terms of the night light, some people like to have, and I try this, I like this a lot too, like maybe like candles, maybe like one little candle, like kind of like flickering, and as the night goes on, the candle like sort of puts itself out, you know what I'm saying? Kind of
But
like,
that's dangerous because you
goes
might
out.
burn your whole crib up.
Yeah, I mean, you might wake up to a 5-alarm fire.
Or
But
just not wake
it'd
up.
be the best sleep you ever had.
I was about to say, that's what I said, or just not wake up. Wake up in
Wake
the
up in
afterlife.
Right, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Is that Elvis?
You know what I'm saying? DMX, what are you doing here? Hey, yo, bitch.
Don't start that again, son. Don't.
You in heaven. My nigga. All right. Damn. I knew I was in heaven when this nigga started yelling at me again.
Son, you can't do that, son. Son.
On the real.
Oh my God.
But yeah, little things like that. But you can make it safe.
Right.
They have like the little glass ones, or they have the electronic.
The electric candles are probably a better
I use the electric candles when I'm in schools and stuff because I do like meditation in my classes. You don't want to be lighting fires in schools, but it's different ways. But it looks just like those electric ones are really nice because they have like a wax base.
Yep.
And then maybe the tip of it is like maybe plastic or something. But it looks and kind of like, feel that same feel of a candle.
Yes, sir.
Different things, you can use, and some of these things have timers on them.
Yep.
But yeah, there's no denying sleep is super duper important. Oh, and one more thing. If none of that stuff works, don't be afraid
to get drunk until you pass out. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, we could go there. No.
I'm kidding,
you make a good point.
Just jokes.
No, you make a good point.
Just
you make
jokes.
a point. Not so much to get drunk till you pass out, but some people will take like just a tiny cap full of like a rum or something just to have them relax. Like you said, you got so much stuff on your mind.
Or a little edible.
Or a little edible. Yes, I have friends that, they take a little edible, helps them, knocks them right out.
Let me just hit this corner of this brownie.
Right. Or maybe not an edible. Maybe they need a little bit of light up. You know what I'm saying? Just,
right.
Whatever. If that's what works for you, that's what works for you. The goal is to help get you to sleep, to help you relax.
Right.
And then on that same sort of note, there are sleep aids, right? There are different, like maybe pills or some melatonin. That's like more of a natural one. There's like liquids that you can take, liquid caps that you could take. All these things can help you. So you just start to like maybe do some self-experimentation, see what works best. If you know that, oh man, like when I take just a little cap full of Henny, that knocks me right on out. Okay, there you go. If you realize, all right, a little edible helps you, there you go. If you go to the Walgreens or something, they got a whole aisle of sleep aids.
Right.
Check them out. See what kind of reviews they have. That might help you. Melatonin helps a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Melatonin for me, my body be like, Nick, what's that melatonin?
Right.
Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't. I gotta take like half the bottle for it to work for me. But there's other sleep aids that do work for me. So, self-experiment, but don't be afraid to, take melatonin. And don't even be afraid to, when you go to the doctor, to tell your doctor, to be like, hey, I'm having problems sleeping. A lot of times you might need a pharmaceutical grade sleep aid that is not over the counter, you know what I'm saying, where they have to prescribe something to you, which, I've seen that happen where you take something that's, you gotta, you get from the pharmacist, from your doctor, and be like, oh, this was perfect. This is exactly what I needed, you know? So the whole goal is to do whatever you need to do to get as much sleep as possible, to get to sleep as quick as possible, because that's the other thing. You know, you'd be like, oh, man, I'm going to be right, man. I'm going to bed at, 9 o'clock, whatever, and just lay in bed for 2 or 3 hours. That's like the worst. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. The only thing I'm going to add is when self-experimenting, do your research and start small. Even if you're doing an edible, taking a little hit of the L, taking a shot of the Henny, going to the sleep aid aisle, don't take a big ass amount. If you're going to use this for an aid, start tiny, see how you feel, and collect data of your own. You know what I'm saying? Get into the metaverse. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. No. Like, you're definitely right. Take a half of whatever,
especially if you're doing things that you've never done before. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, you don't want to drink a fucking huge ass mug of Henny for the first time. You're going to try to use it as a sleep aid. Like you said, you start with the cap, same cap you twist off the bottle, maybe boop, take that. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to have an edible, especially if you don't really do edibles, you might want to take just a little corner. You know what I'm saying? You're going to roll a spliff, hit the spliff, baby, but don't smoke a Godfather and try to go to bed. It might.
Right. Develop some new habit and say, oh, I'm only doing this to go to sleep.
Listen, I only drink Henny to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I only hit the head rock when it's time to hit bed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I only do crack rocks to help me go to sleep. You know what I'm saying?
All right. This is getting out of hand. I'm out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, we met.
No, son. You might have a problem. I don't think that's a sleep aid. You know what I mean? Something else is going on there.
Son, you said crack rock. I thought about Wolf of Wall Street, son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just leave that right there.
Right.
If they don't know,
go check it out. It's a dope movie.
Go find that out. Right.
Yeah.
But so just start small and be cautious when taking new steps. Like Dre said, you don't want to develop a new habit, and now you've created a deeper, darker criminal link, as they once said. You know what I'm saying? That's what Hove said. We ain't gonna talk about Murder Inc. That just establishes a deeper, darker criminal link. You don't want to do
Hove
that.
Did that.
So hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. I actually was quoting that a bunch over this just weekend that just passed, Halloween weekend. I said that mad time. People were saying all type of wild shit. I was like, but son, Hove did that.
Hove did that.
So hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. You know what I'm saying? Right. Somebody asked me advice on something. They're like, but you did it before. I said, yeah, Hove did that. So hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that. Don't be like me, be a better me. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't be like me and eat the Ben and Jerry's. Just get you a little pint-sized, bite-sized something. You know what I'm saying? Go get some bonbons or something. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah. Bonbons. You know what I'm saying? Or what's the little bites? Bites. That's what they're called. They got these little ice cream bites. Get you some bites. You know what I'm saying? Get a couple bites. Don't be like me and get a couple pints. Bites. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Hove did that. I'm saying, yo, did you see that he did a really cool
Yeah.
You saw the speech?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really like that he shouted out Dame. Because they've been having a lot of feuding. They've had a really big feud.
For years.
For years and years, and Dame even reposted it. And I'm keeping this in the pod. I'm not cutting this out. This is important for us, for our culture. Everybody in our age groups throw that rock up all the time. We all watch Hove and Beyonce, and we all came up on that music in some way, shape, or form. I think it's super important that he did that. And like he said, we not seeing eye to eye, but I could never take away what you did. You know what I'm saying? I like that he finally put that out there, gave Son his props, gave Dame his props, and I saw Dame reposting it. I said,
yeah, man. Cats getting older, getting more mature, man.
Come on, man.
You can't be approaching everything like you're 24, 25, man. Like, come on. Let's grow up now.
And like he said, you can never erase what Dame did. He was a
Of
part of
course.
history. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like going back to Janelle, who I mentioned earlier. Me and Janelle were talking about it, and like Janelle said, son, The Rock was so big, cats ain't even want to sign the Def Jam at one point. I was like, yo, what's up, Andre? You want to sign the Def Jam? He's like, nah, nigga, I'm trying to be with The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Where The Rock at? You know what I'm saying? Throw me The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Cats was like, Def Jam
threat.
who? Who's Def Jam?
Yeah.
What you talking about?
They was a big threat when they was coming up, yo.
Woo!
You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
Big ass threat.
Big time. So
And
anyway.
the only thing that killed them was them. You know what I'm saying? Not you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which usually what happens with dope music groups, but that's a different conversation.
It's a different conversation.
You know what I mean?
Yo, you been watching Wu-Tang?
Yes, sir.
Somebody is trying to convince me to watch it. I haven't seen any of it, but I'm conflicted because I've seen a lot of stuff from the Wu-Tang members saying like, yo, a lot of this shit is fabricated.
Okay, so yeah. All right, we can go to real quick. So the thing about it is, it's not a documentary. That's what cats got to understand. So they're telling a story. They're adding and subtracting because whoever is telling the story, director, whoever wrote the screenplay,
it's RZA.
Like,
RZA is the most involved member, which
he's
we
the most
know why.
involved, but he got Mario Van Peebles directing. It's a lot of cats. So it's like, all right, let's make this story interesting. It's not a documentary. I think that's what happens when you tell stories of people who are still around.
Right.
A lot of people think, oh, that's the documentary. No, it's not the documentary.
Right.
It's just a dope story based on some things that happen.
Right.
So I look at it like that. I've read the Wu-Tang manual and probably everything.
Same. I got both books.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's
Wu-Tang
like
manual
I know this,
and Tao of Wu.
Exactly. So do I. And I know the real story. That's not why I watch it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I watch it because it's a dope story. It's really engaging. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's worth watching.
Yeah, that's what the person was explaining to me. They were saying like, yo, forget about what really happened. This is just compelling content. And you're also going to learn a little bit of stuff. But even if you don't learn a little bit of stuff, it's a really solid show. I said, all right, I'll consider it. I'm always reluctant to watch new TV shows, but I thought this might be something to keep on my radar. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to know if you was watching it.
That happens a lot, so going way, way back in the days, there used to be a lot of like Vietnam movies, right? This is like the 60s and the 70s. And Vietnam vets would get upset. Yo, that's not what happened. It was this way and it was that. I'd be like, yo, we're not making a documentary on Vietnam. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're making this movie based on some things that happened in Vietnam. Or even World War II, right? It's like, y'all know it wasn't a Captain America, right? I mean,
you
know what I'm saying? Like,
are you kidding? Are you sure?
Like, now the whole super soldier shit was what the Nazis was trying to come up with, but they took that and they said, okay, we're gonna base it on some truth
and they
make this like make this like compelling, entertaining story. The whole thing is the machine is making entertainment for you. To be like, man, that was entertaining, that was fun to watch.
Right.
That's what it is. It's entertainment at the end of the day, not a documentary. If you think of it a documentary, yes, you're going to get pissed. But we know that there's plenty of things that are based on some truth that is entertaining, right? We just had Halloween. There's a movie called Amityville Horror. Amityville Horror is some real shit. That the movie is not a documentary. All that shit in the movie didn't happen.
Right.
So people who live in Amityville, New York, is not sitting there like, they're lying. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a fucking movie based on weird shit that happened in your town, and they was and that's the thing about entertainment. What does entertainment do? As I try to explain this to people, especially me as a martial artist, I explain this shit to kids so many times, even adults too. It's like movies and TV shows do one thing to make it fun. They exaggerate.
Of course.
They highly exaggerate. So when you watch Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, and they're flying through the air, don't come into my dojo asking me how do you do that.
No, but you can really do that. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. It's like you don't ask, you don't see Spider-Man and you try to pretend you could. You don't see. So it's like, yo, they exaggerate things. Superman, all these things, you exaggerate things to tell a story.
Right.
And that's all that's happening. It's just an exaggeration playing around with some things that was based on, some true stuff that happened and make it more entertaining.
Right.
I like it.
I like it too. It made me think about the V for Vendetta quote, which I told my friend who was explaining it to me. I said, oh, well, artists use lies to tell the truth, and politicians use the truth to tell lies.
To tell lies.
If I had a mic to drop, I would drop it.
First of all, we have to do a whole nother podcast if we just went on the movie thing. Like, we couldn't even.
We know.
You know what I'm saying? That'd be like, that'd be like a whole. We have to call that a whole different thing.
Oh yeah.
We got movies for days.
Oh, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? We would just call that podcast The List and just go through our whole list.
Let us not forget. I think our first joint was we was talking about the Purge.
Yeah, our first pod we talk about the Forever Purge.
Right, you're talking about the Purge. Like, that's how excited we get about movies. So we get it. You know what I'm saying?
Like just be ready. The end of the year when Matrix comes out, you're about to get mad references. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
I'm gonna download it. Go watch it on IMAX.
We could,
all that.
We could. That's what I'm saying. We would have to need a whole nother thing.
Yeah, of course.
That's just about movies if we would ever do that, because that would take up everything.
Yeah, and we would have to start breaking shit into sections.
It's just too many jewels with the amounts of movies that we both know,
right? And the way we dissect it, little gems we find that the other day. Yeah. Come on, son.
Yeah, it's just nuts. Anyway.
Nuts. All right, man. This is now officially our longest pod ever.
Yeah, we chopped this.
My jogging time is over. I'm going to hop in a cab tonight. You know what I'm saying? Right. This cab ride is sponsored by Food, Fitness, and Fun.
As always.
You know all right, y'all. We'll be back next week. Same bat channel. Same bat time. Deuces.
And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.